Ready? Play.
So what was that like to look across the net and see like a younger version of yourself? I don't know if it's a younger version of yourself, but big guy, I mean, 3 years older than him.
Yeah, definitely an interesting comparison, but I see what you mean. I was just in the locker room talking to somebody saying, yeah, this is the first time I've played someone who's younger than me and not around my same age. Like, I've played Carlos and Holger, who are like a year, and Arthur Feast, who's like a year and a half, but 3 years younger. It's really impressive what that kid is doing and brings to the table as an 18-year-old. He's definitely pretty far ahead of where I was at 18 years old.
What did you, I mean, did you use that again? Do you think there was a way of using that against him? Do you think your experience came into play in like the second set or in the third set, or was it just like a...
Maybe a little bit down the stretch. I thought I did a good job of amping up my energy at the right times and getting the crowd behind me, and I definitely felt like the momentum shifted towards the end of the second set. I don't know if that's experience or just, being here in front of a American crowd who I had a lot of support, and I think it's kind of a different feeling playing someone who's younger than you. It's important that you try to flip the script and not have it feel like this guy's coming after me, but no, I'm still coming after him. That's the mindset I try to have when I play older guys, like the underdog or the young guy coming after them, and so it's important for me when I play guys younger than me to not feel like they're coming after me.
Ben, I wanted to ask you about the trio of Tommy, Taylor, and Francis. You've had a chance to play all of them now, and you've spent some time around them, especially in Vancouver, where you got to see probably the lighter side of that group. And I just wondered if you talk about what that environment is like, especially kind of on the humorous side when you guys are behind the scenes, and also what kind of influence they've been on you.
Yeah, I think we're all pretty good friends, not just from Labor Cup, but just being out on tour. We go to dinners together for one another's birthday every once in a while. Fritz usually has the best, Fritz's girlfriend usually knows the best restaurants in the cities that we're in, so he's a pretty good guy to go to dinner with. But yeah, I think we have a great group of Americans, not just including those guys, but others as well who I like hanging out with, and there's always good banter. Fo was just in the locker room giving me a hard time about saying some words in Spanish because two of the guys on my team are Argentinian, so I'm hearing the Spanish all the time. Some words come out every once in a while in Spanish, and he's just giving me a hard time for it every single day. So it's a lot of jabbing back and forth, but they're all great guys.
Is there an advantage in that just because they're close and they support each other? It's not like they're not talking to each other in the locker room. I mean, do you feel like that whole group tries to pull each other up?
Yeah, I think it's a balance, right? At the end of the day, we're all still competitors, and when we go out to play against each other, whether it's Tommy in Dallas or Fo at the U.S. Open, Fritz here last year, there's not the friendliness obviously we're respectful, but on the court we're competing, and we're competing at the highest level, as all of us have shown. But I think off court is something a little bit different than on court, and there's definitely a balance.
You mentioned the crowd a little bit. How you work with the crowd a lot, you see you interact with them. How important is that for you to have a crowd behind you? Does it affect your match in any way?
I don't know how much it affects me. I think it's a positive for me to have a crowd behind me, especially, when things are going great, but when things aren't going so well, I wouldn't say they were going terrible, but losing the first set today, to have that crowd behind me or supporting me and kind of urging me on late in that second set before I got the break, I think it's a huge plus. But I'm used to coming through the college system. I'm used to it being on both sides. Sometimes you go into a hostile environment, and sometimes the hostile environment is behind you. So I enjoy playing in front of big crowds, whether they're with me or against me.
You mentioned the Argentinians on your team, movement guy, right?
Yeah.
It's what do you work with, bringing him on and working with him? What has that been like? And was that you, your dad?
Yeah, he's been a huge addition to my team. He was at the USTA a long time ago, and he was his group was Tommy, Taylor, and Francis from like 13 to 17, something like that. And then he went and worked for Tennis Australia, and he was kind of just transitioning out while I was looking for a strength and conditioning coach. And he's been a huge addition to my team. He's helped me a lot on the movement side. He's helped me on the strength side, and he's just one of those good guys to have in your corner who shows up to work every day. He loves his job and is just truly a team player. So, all three guys that I have in my corner on my team have really helped me in the last year.
Speaking of your colleagues or players close to you, Abdullah Shobe, he is your former college teammate, right?
Mm.
And he had been coached by your father back in college. So how do you see his progress he made last year?
Yeah, I think it's been really cool to watch. The year that we both turned pro, we were actually supposed to live together, and he's doing great. He's another young kid with a lot of skill, a lot of ability, and from what I've seen, he's been working really hard lately. So cool to see his success. I'm not sure what his ranking's up to now. I think he's top 200 though. And I think that
180 or something.
Okay, yeah. So I think that he'll continue to rise. I actually didn't see him here. Did he play here?
No.
Oh, he didn't play here. Okay.
Ben, before college, when you were playing different sports and growing up, were you always the guy who would, get the fist pump going and do that as you're coming up through the ranks before college? Or did that really amp up during college?
Yeah, I think college definitely helped ignite that, but before, I think it was being around the college atmosphere with my dad being the coach and just seeing that type of behavior, energy on a day-to-day basis is kind of what brought it out of me. I always enjoyed, from being a little kid, no matter what sport it was, just competing and really getting into whatever I was going to do. My parents put an emphasis on only doing things if I was going to do it at 100%. There was no reason in wasting money or wasting my time if I wasn't passionate about what I was doing. So I think that passion comes out when I do things that I love out here on the tennis court or any other sport that I might be playing.
You mentioned after that you play pickup basketball in your spare time. A lot of players sort of would go near that for a minute.
Yeah, I've definitely shut it down a little bit. I still go every once in a while, more just shoot arounds or playing some one-on-one. But when I was in college, I was playing a lot at the rec center at the University of Florida, a lot of times with the track and field team. But yeah, my number of pickup sessions have definitely slowed down.
Ankle, roll on a good way to roll an ankle.
Yeah, roll an ankle, jump up going for a block and landing on your heel wrong, and it's just you go into the practice the next day and you're never feeling 100%. So yeah, definitely a lot less of that. No.
Do you help your tennis playing games like that, Doug?
No, I mean
doing different sort of stuff is what I'm saying.
Oh,
is that help?
Yeah, growing up, I think that it definitely helped me improve as an athlete. Helped me become a more well-rounded athlete. And if you look at the movement on a basketball court, some of the defending and other things is similar to the movement on a tennis court. And it's a high-intensity game. There's a lot of running, and I think it's good for an endurance. But when I'm playing nowadays, it's not like I'm oh yeah, this is good for my tennis. I'm cross-training. No, I just do it for fun.
And as you spend more time on the tour and see what it takes week to week to maintain level and try to be consistent, do you marvel more when you look at some of the guys like maybe Novak or Rafa that they've been able to sustain that over such a long period of time?
Yeah, I think it's crazy because there's two big aspects of it. One, obviously, the physical. You can be worn down, tired after weeks. I think scheduling is also really important with that. Not, being in the finals or winning a tournament and flying to another continent and playing right again the next week. I think that's important. And then also mentally, it's like how motivated are you? What really drives you to go out there and play each week? Because I think it's easy to lose motivation when you've won so much, or you're financially stable, or you've accomplished some things that you want to accomplish, ticked off some goals. I think it's easy to get lackadaisical or kind of put on the brakes on trying to get better and improve things in your game day in and day out. And obviously the greats are able to come back the next year and do it again. The Novaks and the Rafas, the Rogers, the Kobe Bryants, the Michael Jordans, just like each year it almost seems like they're getting better and continuing to improve. So I think it's really mental.
You've been to Indian Wells now a couple of times, and I wonder what you think of Indian Wells now. What did you think it was going to be, and has it kind of lived up to that, or has it been different to what you thought it was going to be?
Yeah, I think really similar. It's obviously a beautiful place, and things are convenient here, not being in a big city for a change. Usually our tournaments are in bigger cities, so I really enjoy it here. It's peaceful. It's a beautiful site. Actually, the first time that I was supposed to come out here was during COVID. I was going to play Easter Bowl, and I think that all flights got canceled like 4 days before I was supposed to come out here. I'd gotten a wild card, and it was going to be like my first time playing in ITF. So I was pretty bummed about that, but happy that I'm able to play in the big show here now.
So you thought today you lost the first set, and then how did you? I saw you like making big gesture to get the crowd excited, and then also, but at the same time, what was in your mind at the time? That how did you come back? What did you do to yourself?
Yeah, I knew that the match was far from over after the first set, and it only took one small chance or one look to be able to turn things around, and I was able to execute in the right moments to make that happen, and that's where that big gesture kind of came from. I think the momentum flipped a little bit with the way that I was playing, but I was just trying to put an emphasis on it with how much energy I had, going into the third set, because it's easiest to have a letdown after winning a set, and I just wanted to make sure that when I went from the second set on into the third set, I was playing with the same intensity, and I didn't have that letdown of getting broken or missing a chance to break in the third.
Last question.
Have you thought of the Olympics at all? Is that in your mind?
Yeah, definitely thought about it a lot. I'd say now I'm leaning towards not going this year if I were to make it. I think it's tough in the tennis schedule this year. I'll be in Europe for 2 months leading up to Wimbledon, and then after, I want to prepare and really get ready for the U.S. Open. So having to go back to Europe to play on clay, a different surface, it kind of messes up a few lead-up tournaments to the U.S. Open that I would play if I wasn't playing the Olympics. But 100% I would want to play in LA in 2028, which is on the same side of the world as the U.S. Open and on the same surface. But I guess we'll just see. Who knows what happens this summer.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.